I'm Neil Nixon, and I'm at NAB Show New York at the Javits Center in New York City. I'm joined today by John Mailhot, who is the CTO of Networking and Infrastructure at Imagine Communications. John, there's the transition to IP-based infrastructure continues apace. What are Imagine Communications doing to facilitate this for the industry?
Well, at Imagine, almost everything we do in products and in technology is somehow related to this transition of the industry, not just to IP-based signal flow, but we really see IP-based signal flow as an enabling technology to move the industry away from box-level widgets into a software-based architecture where all of the signal processing and conversion, master control, playout graphics, all the things we do today to television content can move into a pure software virtualized environment. Moving the signals into IP is a necessary first step, but it's hardly the end game. The end game is really the flexibility and scalability and so forth that come from an IP-based infrastructure. So my particular role these days has been on the advocacy and development of the standards for IP infrastructure. So I have the privilege to serve in the SMPTE development groups that are creating the new standards that will be used for connecting the industry. And I'm also a director of the Video Services Forum, which has played an integral role in fostering the culture of interoperability events and plug fests that allows the vendors to have a safe space to work together to make this stuff work on behalf of the whole industry. So I know you were at IBC. At IBC, we actually staged a very large interoperability event. There were more than 30 vendors hooked together, showing full interoperability of the existing SMPTE standards, as well as interoperability of the new VSF TR03, which is being standardized through SMPTE as well. It was a tremendous event. I don't know that anything like it has happened in the industry before. So we're very pleased at the level of interoperability, the level of collegiality among vendors. We all compete, but we all know that the market requires interoperable solutions, and that's what we're about.
And how comfortable is the market in switching to a software-only solution?
It's quite variable. So the full software-based solutions are a great idea, and I believe that 5 or 10 years from now, that will be absolutely the norm for any new deployment. In terms of deployments today, each customer asks their own, engineering teams about the right balance of risk versus technology versus flexibility. So we're engaged in proof of concept exercises all over the globe. There's a number of significant television operations on the air today that the signals originate through these IP-based, software-based workflows. But, as you know, if you walk through any machine room, SDI is still the king, and IP and software-based is still the visitor. That will, of course, shift over the years, and it's as much a technology challenge as it is a training and comfort challenge. Fundamentally, television engineers, like any engineers in any industry, they want to and need to understand technologies and be thoroughly fluid in them before they bet their business on them. And so, as much as all of us on the vendor side are clearly involved in developing the technologies, there's a huge amount of investment going on in leading customers to understand the technologies, to train their staff, to develop skills, to build skills where they may not exist. And so that's as important as the technology development in the industry right now is the training and education and comfort development of key engineering staff at every customer.
And are these solutions generally bespoke, or does Imagine have a suite of products that are branded and are recognizable to answer these problems?
Well, our solutions are branded very much in the same way as our traditional solutions are branded. So in many cases, IP is an interface that's available on, say, our Nexio servers or on our Selenium signal processing platforms. Our software-based infrastructure is an infrastructure under the trade name Xenium, but it's used as the infrastructure inside many of our products. So our Nexio server line, our Versio playout systems are all built on the Xenium microservices architecture internally. And that architecture is designed as a what we call cloud-first architecture. So although we might sell something that looks like a box-level product, inside it's got its own little cloud and its services running in there that equally well could run in a full cloud-based environment. And that's been, I think, a big transition for us internally in how we foresee and how we work these products, is that we are using that infrastructure to create our products. Whether we package them as a box or whether we package them as a cloud-based service, it's the same infrastructure to us. It's the same product.
Okay. So to conclude, looking to the future, we're on the journey of this transition to IP at the moment. What is the end game in terms of where we could be in 5 years' time?
Well, I think the end game is that media companies are always a balance between an engineering team, which has to construct and manage a facility or a set of facilities, and a production team that has an idea and wants to turn it into a show. And so traditionally, the production team would come downstairs to engineering and say, I want to do this and that and that. And engineering would say, well, that's going to take 6 months and $12 million. And production would walk upstairs disgusted at everything being slow. Success in an IP-based workflow is when production comes downstairs and says to engineering, I want to do this and this and this, and engineering says yes, and here's how we'll do it. So it's really about creating the level of flexibility of the infrastructure so that whatever production dreams up, engineering can make it happen. Engineering can transform from being the department of no to the department of yes. Mm-hmm. That's the success state of IP-based infrastructure.
Sure. And how near are we to that utopian dream?
I think it's going to happen pretty quickly. I mean, certainly, I say 5 years, but there's customers today that can turn up another channel, turn up another version of a channel very quickly because they've made the investment in the software-based infrastructures. As they build more and more complex facilities, of course, the scope of what they can do flexibly enlarges. So over the next few years, we will see a lot of churn in what is expected of a television facility, what type of complexity, what type of remotes, what type of complicated production workflows can be dreamed up. Because in the end, the production team drives the business. The production team has needs to do this or that to create a show with a certain market, and they need to do it quickly, they need to do it on a thin budget. So the media industry as a whole is under a lot of pressure to respond to all the different content that's out there in creative and clever ways, and to really innovate how content is created and delivered and produced. And so this IP-based infrastructure is the enabling fabric of all these transitions. So the more we enable, the more creativity will happen, the more we'll have to enable. It all feeds together.
Well, I'm sure, John, that you and your team at Imagine Communications will speed the process, and we wish you every success in that. And thank you very much indeed for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you for the invite, and it's good to see you here in New York.
Thank you.